Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating concept called the strength of silent roots. If you've ever found yourself putting in just immense, back-breaking effort day after day, only to feel totally unrewarded or overlooked, well, you're not alone. This framework is absolutely going to shift how we view our progress and all that unseen hard work.
So, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're working day and night, literally carrying heavy sacks on your back under a scorching sun and getting absolutely nowhere? It's so exhausting, right? It just depletes you. You're giving everything you have to your goals, your family, your career, but when you look around, the results are zero. It's a very real, very human frustration, and it's exactly what our source text tackles head-on today.
And it's such a stark contrast. On one side, you've got what feels like your life right now, just a dry patch of dirt and heavy sacks. And then you look over at your peers, and they seem to be sitting in these green, flourishing fields. It is so incredibly easy to feel totally forgotten in those moments. The text uses some beautiful allegories for this exact feeling. It compares this specific type of sadness to the orphan boy Alex, who looked up at the sky and just wondered if he was too small for God to even see. Or think of the cracked pot, deeply ashamed because, despite its daily journey, it could never bring home a full measure of water. It's that heavy, heavy burden of feeling inadequate when your efforts just don't seem to match your outcomes.
All right, part one, the farmer's empty field, the pain of unseen effort. To really understand this, let's look at a central story from the text about a hardworking village farmer. Every single morning, this guy wakes up incredibly early, goes out to a quiet little corner of his land, and tends to this very special seed he planted. But months go by, and not a single green leaf appears above the soil. Nothing. Then harvest time rolls around. The other villagers are pulling in these massive visible crops, and what do? They point and they actually mock the farmer for his empty field. Imagine the agonizing weight he's enduring. The text points out that in a scenario like this, it is so easy to start feeling like the lazy boy Raju, wondering if you're just wasting your gold-like time. Or you might feel like the young man whose belongings were completely stolen, that terrible feeling that everything you've painstakingly done has been for absolutely nothing.
Which brings us to part two, the secret of silent roots, the turning point.
Right when things seem the most bleak, a mentor figure steps in. A wise old woman with silver hair and gentle wrinkles visits his empty field and asks him this: "My child, why do you look at the surface and cry, when the most important work is happening where your eyes cannot see?" Take a second with that. Really let that sink in. That right there is the absolute turning point for the farmer's mindset. And honestly, it can be the turning point for ours too. We spend so much of our lives agonizing over the surface, over those visible metrics of success, that we completely ignore the massive foundation being built underneath.
So this brings us to this brilliant, crucial concept of silent roots. What are they? Well, it's that unseen, deep foundational growth that's required to find a permanent source of water so you can survive life's inevitable floods and droughts. The wise woman explains to the farmer that his seed wasn't dead, and it certainly wasn't lazy. It was actually spending all of its time and energy growing deep, deep down into the earth. It goes to show that your hard work, your unrewarded late nights, they're never wasted. That are simply building an internal architecture, a foundation that absolutely no storm can break.
And you can really see the dynamic at play here. On one side, you have the other villagers' crops with their shallow roots. Sure, they grew quickly. Sure, they looked really impressive right away, but they wash away easily the second the weather turns bad. On the other side, you've got the deep roots. Yes, it takes months of unseen, unglamorous work, but it survives any flood, any drought. The text actually notes that life will always give us good and bad days, but that inner light must never go out. The temporary, flashy success of those mocking villagers just totally pales in comparison to the permanent resilience the farmer is cultivating.
Moving on to part three, karma is true dharma, lessons from the path.
The text gives us three really vivid mini-stories here to hammer this home, proving that unseen efforts always manifest eventually. First, think of the little girl who showed up to the village prayer for rain. She was the only one who actually brought an umbrella. Now that is pure confidence. You have to keep acting with the absolute certainty that your harvest is coming, even when your field looks barren and the sky is totally clear. Next, we revisit that cracked pot, remember? It felt so ashamed of leaking water every single day, but it didn't realize it was secretly watering beautiful wildflowers all along the path. That's unseen karma. Your daily efforts are creating beauty beneath the surface that will eventually bloom all at once. And finally, a warning. Don't be like the proud horse who turned away from his friend. We really must stay humble and keep working, because real, enduring strength is always found in a heart that just persists quietly.
All of these allegories are brought sharply into our reality by the old man at the watch shop who warns, you cannot buy back even 1 second of your life, so don't spend your precious time sitting idle or drowning in doubt. I mean, what an urgent, surprising piece of wisdom. Time is the ultimate non-renewable resource, right? Every single second you spend agonizing over the surface is a second you could have spent watering your roots.
Okay, part 4, trusting your harvest is coming, empowering your daily foundation.
The text leaves us with this incredibly simple yet powerful declaration. Today will be a good day. If you can wake up every single morning and enthusiastically say this exact phrase to yourself, you're going to find the strength to keep going. It's literally the verbal equivalent of watering your silent roots. It instantly shifts your focus from the drought you might be seeing on the surface to the deep, vital work you're doing underground. And to wrap that up, here is the actionable roadmap the text provides for us. Step 1, believe in your goals, believe in your prayers, and above all else, believe in yourself. Step 2, value your quiet tears and your kindness. Listen, your quiet suffering and your unseen good deeds truly do matter. They are the water for those roots. And step 3, trust that doors will open where you once saw only walls. Don't waste any more time. Get up and keep working for your dreams, knowing with absolute certainty that you are never, ever walking alone.
So, that leaves us with one final, really provocative question to reflect on. What beauty are your silent roots growing right now? Take a moment, stop looking at the dry dirt on the surface, and recognize the immense foundation you are building underneath. If the message in this explainer brought some peace to your heart today, please share it with someone you know who might be struggling with their own unseen efforts. Keep watering those roots, and I'll catch you next time.